let's move our routes to a separate folder. So here in server, let's create a new folder called routes, and inside here let's create our first file. Let's call it auth.js. so we will put all authentication related routes here, for example login, registration. So let's go to server. So this code, so this route we don't want to keep here, we want to move, right? So let's cut from here and put here. Now to use route here, we need to use express. So we need to access express router function. So let's import express from express, and that will give us the router. So let's put that in a variable, const router equals to express dot router with capital R. Okay, that's important. So this gives us access to express router. Now instead of app, because we don't have the app here, express app here, instead we have the express router. So replace app with router. So router.get, and everything can stay exactly the same. Okay, we haven't made any changes, so everything is same. Now export, in fact, yeah, export default router. Okay, so this way we can still continue using express router, and we can default export router so that we can import this one in our server.js and continue with our app, right? So import, so let's import routes from, so we need to go inside routes folder /auth. All right, now once we have this one, we're going to use it. Now to use these things, we can use something called middlewares. Okay, so we can apply it as a middleware route. So middleware is basically a function that runs in the middle. So think of it like that, and this can be very useful to import such your own modules, or some modules you install from npm. So you can import them and apply as a middleware to your application. Later you will also see how you can create our own authentication middlewares, and we apply them to our routes so that only the logged in user can access certain routes. So you will see how everything will work, and you will learn much more about middlewares, but at the moment let's just simply apply this as a middleware. So this router, to apply middleware, we can use method. So this express app gives us this function called use, which we can use to apply middlewares. All right, so use, we want to use it, we can give it a prefix route. We can use a / or maybe use API, especially with when you're building API, you prefix with API. So any route comes with API, you give it to this one, and this one is router. All right, so basically all we did is move this route to its own file and import here and apply as a middleware to our express app. So let's see how it works. Okay, so you see we got error, cannot get. Now anytime you get this such response, which means your server is perfectly running, it's running, that's fine, otherwise you wouldn't get this one. However, this endpoint does not exist, and that's because we have already the prefixed the URL here. So let's go to auth, and you can see here we already have prefix, so we should remove this one, otherwise we have to send request as API/API, because we have already written API here. So instead of writing on each and every route like so, we can just remove this from here because it is already here prefixed. Okay, perfect. Now it should work. Let's give it a try, refresh, and sure enough it works. So that's great. You saw how you could modularize your code and move your routes to a different file and apply as middleware and continue using it.